Hey guys, welcome to our podcast, In Good Company, also known as En Buena Compañía. My name is Shanti.
My name is Aizy.
My name is Evelyn, and again, welcome to our podcast. This is exciting. This is our first video, and we're excited to have you all watching. I think how we started this podcast was, I think, last year.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a lot of plans that we
Long
had
time
made, but we
coming.
finally made it happen. I think what was it ISIS? How it all started is that ICE gave me one call away from changing my life.
I think I do that regularly. Whoa, not to give myself credit. Anyways, so I had called Evelyn because a friend of ours had wanted to start a podcast, and I thought, I've always encouraged Evelyn, like, you should be on the internet. You should do a whole bunch of content stuff because she's just a really goofy person naturally. And so I called her. I'm like, hey, I have this, podcast. Not me, but I have this person. You should join it.
Yeah, and then I was like, when you called me, I was like, what the heck? I don't know what I was doing. I was like, what the hell? I was like, girl, why don't you do it? Like, you have a lot of good conversations. And she was like, no, not for me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, whatever. I left it behind. I was driving, and then I kept thinking about it, and I was just like, I thought about Chantel. I was like, what about Chantel? And then I was like, what about Isis and Chantel? I was like, why don't we all do a podcast together? And I automatically called Chantel.
Yeah.
And I just threw in the idea out there. I was like, let me just see where it goes.
Yeah, no, she FaceTimed me, and I remember she was just like breaking down basically what the conversation they had between them two. And then she just kind of told me, like, what if we started a podcast? And honestly, I was so freaking excited when she said that. I was like, what? You're right. I never thought of that. But yes, like, that's what we need. Like, we need to like start a podcast as an outlet in order to connect with everyone, us three were regular girls. We have regular conversations about everyday things, and not to toot our own horn, I just feel like we have really good conversations, and what a perfect way to share those conversations and be insightful, but also us, learn different perspectives than through a podcast.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, to echo what Chantel said, it was just a way for us to engage in being educated, and as well as an opportunity to be educated, because although I think I know everything in the world, I know that I don't. Don't ask me what Pythagorean theorem is. I don't know what that means, And so that kind of led us to here. We recorded last year. It was a total fail. And so we put it on hold.
Work in progress.
We put it on hold because it was so freaking terrible. Maybe one day we'll release it, and I hope to God not.
Someone call us. We are not doing that.
But we're here now. It took a few months to build, but you know what? We decided, fuck it. Now or never.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We're here. Yeah. And again, like, it wasn't also like out of scratch, like, yo, let me like tell these random people. No, I think we've established a great friendship to know each other and say, like, are we going to be able to like work together and know if we're compatible? We've had already an established friendship, I mean, Chantel and Isis met. Well, we had a friendship before me.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew Chantel first. She
Yeah.
knew you since elementary school.
Yeah, I knew her first though.
And come on.
Oh, it's not a competition, but it's 14 years strong over here. Whoa! Suddenly I can't do math. Yeah, Chantel and I, we've been best friends since like middle school.
Yeah. And we've been keeping it close. Like, we never had like a fallout, or how people go through those friendships that like don't speak for some years and then you come back. Well, her and I have literally been consistent friends since like sixth grade.
Sixth grade, yeah.
Yeah. Even though she bullied me the first year though, but it's cool.
Whoa. Bully alert.
Was it bullying or is it growth?
Or was it tough love?
Or was it tough love? I was just preparing you for the world. Whoa. And then Evelyn, I hacked her MySpace once with consent. She used to have a big ass thick bang, half a side profile, rar. That was her Evelyn.
Emo.
Rar. Yeah, she was a little emo, but not too much because her mom didn't let her.
Whoa. Now we're talking smack now. Yeah, and I mean, I slowly gravitated to you guys no matter what. I think it's hard for me not to get along with people, but I don't know, with you guys, for some reason, I always found my way back with you guys. It was weird. Like, I was like, I ended up talking to Chantel, I ended up talking to you.
Yeah.
After high school, I think that's where it really saw my friendship grow with you guys.
Yeah.
And then Chantel, when we were in the same college together,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Chantel, what are you doing? Oh my God, we're in the same program, blah, blah, blah. And then you hit me up after very
Whoa, stay tuned,
event.
Coachella.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah,
Coachella.
I think for sure our friendship elevated when you guys started working together.
Oh,
I think that's when
we
you
worked at
guys.
Target. Yeah, we worked at Target together.
Whoa, Target
Another
sponsors.
story though, because whoa, hey, when Ice was getting mad because she wasn't getting invited to the Target events at the after parties. Whoa,
That's cool. What was at the other after parties? Whoa.
the high school ones when she was already 21 years old.
Absolutely not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been that, and I mean, now like I'm curious. You guys have had this friendship for such a long time. Can you guys talk a little bit about how do you guys maintain that strong friendship still?
I think first of all is like our connection. Like her and I have been having this like just like this strong of like connection, but like also like understanding of each other. Like I naturally, like, not to sound like a relationship, but I feel like I naturally fulfill her needs and she naturally fulfills mine without like trying or changing ourselves. Like we just naturally kind of always fulfilled each other. And I think how we stayed consistent was, you know, just always thinking about one another and like reaching out and making effort. Because there was like, you know, sometimes like there'll be some months where I wouldn't hear from her because she went to like A.B. Miller in high school, you know, so.
Oh, someone just put my social security out there though.
The one in Fontana. But yeah, so, you know, even though the first 3 years we didn't go to the same high school, like we would still keep in touch, even though it wasn't every day. It's just those type of friendships where you don't even have to talk every day. You just know like we got each other, and then when we see each other, it's like no time has passed, you know? And those are the type of friendships that you just know like are gonna last.
Yeah, I think to have a lasting friendship, first, you just can't be jealous of each other. I know in the girl world, it really is natural for girls to, you know, be compared or want to compete. And, you know, I grew up in a household with I had 7 aunts. My grandma had 7 daughters. My mom had 3 daughters. I mean, I've only ever grown around women. And I felt for me, and I appreciated Chantel for everything that she was, for everything everybody knew she was. And I feel like I had a lot of confidence. And so in our friendship, it was never about like a competition. It was never about this. It was just, I loved you, you know, as you were, as your person. And I think that's really important because over time, if you spend a lot of time, I can see why some people can feel maybe it's threatening or you're doing this and that. But there was really just a lot of wanting to see the best for one another and having open conversations. We didn't really like the same guys, so we didn't really have that kind of issue. We just really carried our relationship, I think, like sisters. You know, I really think like sisters in the sense that
we were very open with each other.
Very open.
Like, if I had any problem with her, I would not even take days or whatever. I'll tell her instantly, like, hey, that bothered me. I didn't like that, you know? And she would do the same. And that the fact that we kept it real between each other, I think is the reason why we're still close friends. And now I would consider her like a sister at this point, you know, because of the things we've been through and the things we've overcame, and we're still super, I would even say that we're closer now than we were ever. And it's like, what, 14 years? That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know. What do you think, Evelyn? I know you have a friend that you've been friends with like since you were little. Like, what do you think is something essential to have an everlasting relationship? Because at the end of the day, a friendship is a type of a relationship. But
I want to touch points on that. What you said, it's like, I think keeping it real. It's something I did see with you guys a lot. So I think that's very essential, just always being honest with each other. I have had one of my best friends. I think I've known her for like 21 years now.
Oh, it's not a competition.
It's not a competition, but it's in 21 years. Someone's getting a shout out though. No, and I've been friends with her since, we were 4 years old, and we're very different from each other. As we grew, I noticed we're very different from each other, but it's like you said, it's like that sister bond, you know, you learn to accept each other, you know, love one another, support one another, keep it real here, like, hey, this made me uncomfortable. And it's just that open communication. And I think sometimes it's hard. And like you said, like sometimes some woman can see you as a threat, or someone's like, oh, I don't know, I probably shouldn't tell that because, you know, she might be doing this. It's like, no, why don't you communicate it first? So I think it's always been a stand ground where like if something did affect me or like made me feel uncomfortable, sometimes I didn't speak of it like in the instant. I need time to like let it like process, and then I would talk about it. But I think it's just very essential, just open communication, being honest with each other, and just never seeing each other as a threat. And as soon as you feel that energy that you're feeling that someone's like a threat, communicate about it. It might be a miscommunication, it might not. Again, like if you don't feel comfortable, walk away. But yeah, I think it's great having these long friendships. I think it's taught me a lot. Sometimes I meet like people that don't have like long friendships or stuff like that, but I also learn from that. It's like, why is it that this friendship didn't last?
I think it's also essential to learn how to take critique. For me, I'm a very blunt, direct person if you've met me. And I think Chantel was really receptive to what I had to say and how I said things and delivered it. And I also learned how to communicate with her. But especially, I feel she learned how to communicate with me because, again, I was a very straightforward, blunt to the person. And so we're like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, cool. Let's fix it. There was never like, oh, I'm going to talk behind her back to say, oh, she didn't understand this or, oh, no, it's just automatically, I don't like this. I'm not going to deal with this. And that's it. If we want to have a friendship, we need to respect each other's boundaries, respecting boundaries, and being able to proceed in that direction. And I mean, that's led us to 14 years.
Respecting boundaries. And at least I never really sensed the jealousy around you guys, which is amazing. But I also feel like it's sometimes in friendships I've experienced where it's just like, oh, I feel this jealousy that a friend feels when I'm hanging out with someone else. And it's uncomfortable, a little bit uncomfortable. And I know, like, you know, maybe they want me all to themselves or when I hang out, but maybe talk about it. Like, hey, like, I don't know, it affects me. It's just open communication. But there's a lot of like healthy things. And again, friendships don't start healthy sometimes. Sometimes they make their way up. It's like a relationship. You have to work your way up, understand each other. And then you guys get to the top of the mountain and look at you guys. We've made it. Yeah. And keep going forward from there.
Because it's all about growing with each other, right? Sadly, there's some people that you just outgrow, you know, and that doesn't mean that you're like better than them. It's just you guys are growing in different directions, you know? So I feel like for Isis and I, we kind of consistently been growing in the same place. Like if you meet us, completely different personalities, like in all ways, you know?
Always.
But in the ways that we do like have things in common is like we're both easygoing. We both love to go out. Like we have those commons where it's like we go well together, even though we have very different personalities. And I think
our morals and values.
Yeah, morals and values, same.
Aligned.
Same, which is like loyalty, honesty. Like I'm not a loud and like forward person, but I've always been the type of person to appreciate those type of people because like I don't like passive aggressive. I don't like people that like can't speak their mind or can't be forward. I just feel like you need to spell it out to me. I personally don't take anything very personal. I'm going to knock on wood, but hey, no, I really don't. I usually don't take anything personal. And I think that's like the key to like, you know, kind of being friends with like people that are very forward. You know, you cannot take nothing personal. And just kind of learning like when to tell them when you're feeling something, like kind of the time and place for everything. So like with certain people that are very loud and blunt, I noticed that when they're kind of in that headspace where all they care about is being loud and blunt, you can't really talk to them or tell them like you this and this and that. You kind of have to wait until like it's all blown up, like it's done. And then later, like when everything's cooled down and you kind of voice your opinion. And I realized that's when they're really going to hear you. That's when they're really going to reflect and be like, maybe I should have done this and that, you know? And she's learned how to like talk to me too, which is like, you know, me, I can be defensive, you know, I sometimes like, I can be like, no, like, I don't want to accept things. But, you know, as I've grown as a person, like, I'm more accepting and I'm more like, okay, like, I'm going to grow in this area. And it's just about like, basically in friendships, it's just about recognizing your faults and acting out on them and being like, okay, I'm going to do better for this friend. And I'm hoping that she does the same. And that's how you guys literally like grow together. But yeah, it's a journey for sure.
For sure. I feel like my friendship with Evelyn, how we really started becoming close and developing. And I feel too, you kind of take in, you know, you pour into other people and what they pour into you is kind of what you receive. Yeah. For Evelyn, I even told Chantel, like, you know, I'm naturally, I wouldn't say I'm like a goofy ass person, but I feel like,
it's a Leo.
I have a Leo moon too. It's not about me though. But you know, I feel like when we started hanging out, which was, let's just say maybe I did become single fucking 2 days before my birthday, 5 days before Coachella, didn't have anywhere to stay. And I hit up Evelyn randomly like, hey, are you going to Coachella? Let's book somewhere to stay.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember that. I remember that call because I haven't talked to her in years. It was after high school. I was like, but I remember she was always cool. And she was like, dude, let's go hang out. And no, you said, I want to go to Coachella. Are you going? I was like, yeah, I'm going. And she's just a very impulsive person. All right, let's go. We got a room. Let's make it happen. Made it happen. And we're at Coachella. And I'm looking at this girl and I'm like, how the hell am I hanging out with her right now? Like, the fuck, like I haven't even talked to this girl. She doesn't even know my life. But I was like, whatever, like, let's have fun. And we had an amazing
Sleeping like
time.
5 people on one inflatable mattress.
we had an amazing time, but we were so tired. We just came up tired. We had an inflatable mattress, and I don't know how 5 of us ended up sleeping on there. Yo, that morning we all woke up wanting to swing on each other because the mattress was
on the floor, huh?
Yeah. I swear to God, you had to like
wasn't there, but I
roll out.
can
You couldn't
imagine.
get off because it's like, you know, in those videos, like when something bounces and like boing, it was exactly like that.
Dude, I remember I got up and my head was crooked. And I was like, dude, I look around and everyone, I wasn't even on the mattress anymore. And I was like, my back was hurting. I was like, that's messed up. And I woke up all moody. It was like day 2. I was like, hurry up, let's go. Like,
Hey, all mad?
I was so mad, but yeah, I think it's what you said. I think we just feed off of each other. I wouldn't say we're very different. I mean, I don't know. I don't really consider myself very different to so many people. I feel like I'm easy adaptable and like, I don't know, I don't think like,
Yeah, no, I agree with
I don't know if
that.
that makes sense.
I agree with that. I see what you're saying. Like, we have different personalities, but we feed off of each other's energy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you guys are so naturally confident and like outgoing, and like you guys literally like kind of like make me want to be outgoing and confident, which I am, but you guys are more like an extrovert way, you know, which I appreciate. I feel like it kind of like
Balances.
it's a balance for sure. But I also feel like influenced by you guys. If that's like I feel like, oh my God, like it's contagious. There you go.
That's how
There
I
you
feel.
go.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I feel in this friendship. It's like, I think you mentioned earlier, you said last time, you feel this, like you feel like you're on drugs. You feel this euphoric feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and every time I'm with you guys, I feel the same way. It's like, I feel like it can be so open, so honest. And I can be like, I can tell you like my darkest secret. I was like, dude, I don't know why, but this makes me uncomfortable. Like, this is giving me anxiety. This makes me, I don't know how to stop it sometimes. And these are, these girls ain't therapists, but I'm like, how do you think I can like go around it? But you guys you guys take the best route, give me the best that you can. And it's just like, it's the effort that's being put in this friendship. And I think it goes back to that effort. Effort's so important. Anyone can provide effort, but like, hey, you can give so much to someone. Are they giving it back? You can be a nice person. They don't have to give it back to you. But sometimes as a person, you get tired yourself too. It's like, hey, like I did all this for you. And like, can you at least do this small thing for me? And it goes also again to love language.
I would say we do hype each other up a lot. And I feel you would think that every girl group does that, right? Like they hype each other up, like, they support each other through everything that they do and, want the best for one another. But sadly, like that is not true, and I feel like we really do support one another. Like if she wants to do something, like I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to support her in whatever dream that she wants to do. But yeah.
You say I hype a girl up. I was like, girl, you look so good. Like, did you take pictures or something? I was like, oh my God, you're so sweet. And sometimes I get told, I was like, dude, not even my friends tell me that. And it's like, again, sometimes we don't all have to say it, but it makes people feel good. We all have different love languages, and it's important to know what your friend's love language is, to know, hey, what makes her happy? How can I also make her happy or provide for her just as she provides her services with me as, being a good friend.
Personally, over the years, I've definitely been a person who has given so much in my friendships.
So much.
And whoa, can you say that on camera, please? And so I feel what I've learned is me personally, I don't care. You cannot be altruistic in friendships. Friendships are transactional, right? I pour into you. Maybe the word is not expect, but my standard is for you to also pour into me. I think it's okay to have standards and to set the expectations. There's people that they're acquaintances, they're friends, they're homies, and then there's like your besties. Even if you're fucking 25, you could still say that. And so personally, for me, I've always, now that I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, what do I want to provide in my friendships and what do I expect? And again, there's different levels. Not everyone is going to get Ice as the best of me, all of me, 100%, because they're just not deserving of that. And you should feel that you are worth something and that people should feel honored to have a friendship with you.
I think we've all gotten a little bit pickier, I'd say, as we grow older, like choosing our friends and, who we really want to invest our time in. It's like you have to think about like, are they going to invest the same time I invest in them? And I mean, we all get busy sometimes. You know, we have work, we have whether we have kids or not. We just have a lot of things going in our life. That I mean, our friend doesn't fully revolve. Our friends like
Our lives don't
don't
revolve
revolve
around
our
friends.
friends. Yeah, exactly. But you know, we want to make sure is that effort still being put in. You know, is she making time for me? You know. But there, I will agree though. There's those friendships that you know. I'm not sure if you have those friendships where you don't talk to a person for a certain amount of time. Like it could be months, but then you guys hang out and it just feels like you guys
Low maintenance friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I appreciate those two, and you guys know who you are.
Yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, as we get older, life gets a little crazy, you know, and we have more responsibilities, we have jobs, like, you know, some of us go to school and do all these things. So it can be a lot to like balance out friendships when you're in a relationship, when, you know, you have family that like also want to spend time with you. But it's just about like communicating to each other and just being open with another and understanding one another. But for sure, I feel like as you get older, your standards and what you want from a friend becomes, I guess, like higher. And I think that's why a lot of us don't really have a lot of friends anymore at the end of the day. Like some of us would just end up with one or two friends that we've known since we were kids. And I think it just comes down to what they're saying, like effort and also connection, you know, like when you have that type of connection with a friend, like you, like how Evelyn says, there's some friends that you really don't have to see for months and months and months. And then you see each other again and it's like, boom, like it was like y'all never had this time apart, you know? But obviously, like, you know, with these girls, I feel like I have like the best of both worlds. Like I have that connection and the effort, which is honestly like the recipe to keeping a friendship super, super, super long. But yeah, I would say that like those are like the two key things to like, you know, really, really, you know, just really keeping a friendship strong, but also like appreciating one another. And I think that's
Yeah.
what it comes down to it. Like if you feel like really loved and appreciated by your friend, like you're gonna give more, you know, and hopefully they're gonna give to you back, you know, and it just kind of keeps going, keeps going. But yeah.
I have a question actually. So do you guys feel like you should have expectations for, you know, upcoming friends or someone that wants to be in your life? Should you have expectations for what you
I
want?
just feel like if you put expectations on people, you're gonna be disappointed, you know, because at the end of the day, you got to realize that we're human. We're flawed and we have a lot of things. Like I said, when you're an adult, like you have a lot of personal things that happen in your life that maybe you don't feel like talking to people for a little bit. You know, maybe you do feel like you want to isolate and not talk. And some people can take it very personal or whatever, you know, but at the end of the day, having expectations on people, it's like having goals on people. And to have goals, it's like you're telling these people, these are the goals I want you to reach. And it can be a little like
That's a little bit pressure.
a little bit of pressure and just like not realistic, you know? Because I feel like the only things that should be having expectations on you, it's like a job because they're paying you, you know? So they're gonna expect you to give them work because they're paying you. And I feel like with friendships, like, you know, you gotta just give and just already set your mind that like that's it. You're just gonna give and not really, you know, expect anything in return. And obviously if they don't return anything to you, you know, it's not for you to get like mad at that person or whatever. It's just for you to accept them and be like, okay, they're this type of person. They, you know, they don't reach what I would like in a friend. So I'm just gonna move on and, you know, but I'm always gonna have love for them, but I'm not gonna give the same energy, you know? And it's just really about accepting people for who they are and what they can really give in that moment.
And that's where, that's like I said, that's where I, you know, I do disagree in that because I feel like I have gave so much and I'm just like, damn, there's like an emptiness you kind of feel when you're like, do you not find value in me? And so I think I maybe rephrase the expectation because it's true. Like if I'm expecting, I feel like for me, like an expectation is like, oh, you're going to throw me a surprise birthday party and you're going to give me the best gift. I feel like for me, that's an expectation. But for me, the standard's like, you're going to show up for me, you know, you're going to lend an ear, you know, and, you know, when I go into your house, you're like, hey, how are you going to greet me? So I just feel like I just have standards for my friendships and it's okay. We're all allowed to have different friendships and different standards for people. But personally, altruism does not work. I don't give a fuck what no one says. When you do all these great things, you've been a really great friend to people who have been really shitty to you. and you just didn't, did it. You know what? Maybe karma's going to be good to you. And that's why, you are the person that you are. Maybe karma's going to bite me in the ass because I'm like, you know what? That's not cutting it for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I guess we can agree to disagree, right?
Yeah, agree.
I think I stand in between both. I will say that. I do agree that's like if I give, hey, like, what about me? Did not think about my feelings. I also have emotions, but I also think like, what Chantal said.
I feel like as you get older, what I've learned is that not everybody is you.
Yeah. Sure.
Like at the end of the day.
Sure.
And if you meet somebody and they're great, you have a great connection, y'all are great, but they're not giving you what you guys say, like your standard, then that's just for you to recognize that that's not who they are. And they're not going to be in that level of your, like how you said, they're not going to be like your bestie. They're not going to be like the person you call when you need somebody. They're probably going to be that homegirl that you hit up to go out. That homegirl that you hit up like for fun things, like very superficial things. But obviously, like it's not for you to be so angry at that person, or
I agree.
You just to accept that person and just be like, you know what, that's who you are, and you're just not for me. Yeah. So I'm gonna go meet other people that I feel like can bring me what I want in a friendship, because at the end of the day, like that's something that us three have in common. It's like the values and what we find like morally or valuable, correct in our friendship, and we all share that, and that's literally the foundation of like having like really, really close friends that you consider sisters.
And I feel like that's definitely my point. Then I treat them accordingly. I don't do the 100%. I just do like, you're a person who meets me 30, so I'm still gonna meet you 50 because I'm still me, and I go 100. So I'm just gonna meet you at 50 because I'm comfortable with that. But I'm not doing any more. I'm not reaching out. I'm not doing this, and it's not. I don't think out of anger. It's just more like the standard. Like, why am I continuously reaching out and it's like a dead end on your phone? So I do agree to that point.
This is kind of like an analogy, not really, but it's like when you have this group of friends, the way I like to see it, it's like a pyramid, right? You have those people that are giving your all. You have those other people that are like, kind of semi in your life. You have your party friends. You have your different kind of friends, and they all set those like expectations for you, like you're kind of like, okay, I know where you stand now. Who am I going to hit up? Someone I want to party, have fun with. Okay, let me hit up this group.
Yeah.
But essentially someone kind of places themselves in that pyramid. So you can't really be disappointed on like, why doesn't this person treat me or tell me everything like they tell you? But it's like, what effort are you bringing in though? Are you bringing the same value that this person is bringing in? That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like friendships, it takes a lot of reflecting, and just like recognizing like, okay, like this is my strong suit and this is not my strong suit, And I'm not saying that like our goal is to be like the best friend ever. Like, no,
sure.
No, it's just about finding people that have like that common ground with you, that common like values with you. And that's it. Like personalities don't even have to be the same. It's just about understanding like, oh, you value loyalty. Oh, so do I, You value honesty. Oh, so do I, Like
it's like these commonalities that you guys have, right? And you're just like, and I think that's what makes friendships work. We can relate on this. We've been through that. We've both been hurt. We both have someone that hurt us in our friendships. Yeah. We can relate to that. And we feel the same. Our same values and morals are the same to that. It's like, how did we both go around it? When we lost a friend, it hurt us, but we took a different route. It's just like, hey, we keep moving forward.
And you learn from it.
You learn from it.
You learn from it. And that's for sure. Like, I think in high school, you have a lot of friends because, like, you could say, like, not that you don't have standards, but it's kind of like the more the merrier,
and
when you're younger. And it's easier. You see these people every day, And then once life hits you, like, once you get out of high school and you go to college and you just face the real world, like, that's when you really see who's really there for you and who really wants the best for you. Because I feel like once you start growing up and kind of facing like real world like struggles or real world responsibilities or whatever, like that's I feel like where the competition starts, or like people start comparing themselves because like, insecurities kind of start to pop up, like we start to really realize that the world is really hard, and it's not easy. So I think that causes like you know, a lot of insecureness and a lot of compareness between one another, especially now with social media. Like, you know, I think that we can say that we kind of compare our lives, like, oh, this person went out, I haven't been out, like, oh, this and that, oh, this person got, you know, they're doing this, they got this job. And it's just about like accepting the fact of where you are and just understanding that everyone has their own journey at the end of the day, you know, and still supporting one another and being like, genuinely, like, not even just supportive, but like, I genuinely want to see this person win.
Yeah.
And finding those people around you is extremely rare.
I think making friendships and maintaining friendships as an adult hits different, you know, after high school, especially in your mid-20s. You're just like, wait, I have to do this, they have to do that. There's no have to, you know, but it's like, what effort is being brought in by this other person? And, you know, losing a friend at this age, it's also hits different, you know.
It kind of feels like a breakup.
It feels like a breakup. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't like it. It's like, man, like, dang, this friendship didn't work out. Yeah. I wish it would have, you know? Yeah. But sometimes we do it for the best. You know, we don't do it the best for us. We do it for the best of them too.
Yeah.
But
you just grow separate ways, you know? And like I said, back to like the values of, you know, what we have for one another. And then the connection. I think the connection is just like the knot, you know, what keeps us, I feel like,
what
together.
Keeps us going. Together.
And honestly, that's what gives us the euphoric feeling when we're together, is that connection that we just have just naturally.
Yeah, I feel that. I honestly, I keep emphasizing on the euphoric feeling, but we went to the beach last time. To me, I was amazing. I know Chantal had like the time of her life.
I know
she couldn't stop talking about it. But it's like I felt this comfortability with you guys that it's so hard sometimes to find with other friends. It's like I felt like if I literally wanted to do a front flip and just do something stupid, I wouldn't feel judged, you know? I wouldn't feel, and that's the type of friendship I want to maintain. That's the type of people I want to be around with. I don't want to feel judged. I want to be supported. And even things that we don't, appreciate it. And things that we don't agree on, and always keep that like straight up honesty, you know, hey dude, honestly, maybe you shouldn't do that. It's for the best. It's, you know, getting feedback, being honest with one another. And I appreciate that. I think a lot of people now, it's kind of hard to find friends, and making friends in your mid-20s is hard too. Yeah. So like, you know, I live pretty far now from you guys, but when I try making friends with others, it's just like, wait, I don't know this person's past, but I'm not going to judge you off your past either. It's just more like, I do want to make sure I'm getting involved with the right people or all that stuff.
Because people be scammy, you know, people be jealous. Like, you know, I am naive to that. Like, I grew up with a lot of genuine love and support. Like something that Isis and I have a lot in common is that we grew up with a lot of women in our family, and, you know, a lot of the women in my family and her family are very like supportive of one another. Like my mom and her sister, she has 6 sisters, and, you know,
oh my God, both of our moms have like, it's 7. I never realized that.
Wait, sisters?
Yeah, 7 sisters all together, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucking hilarious.
Literally
Dude,
crazy.
7, 6, my mom's 5 sisters.
Is 7. My mom is 7.
7, 6, my mom has 5. Whoa.
How many, does she have brothers?
Yeah, like 5. 11.
11 brothers?
Oh my.
What?
It was like 11 or 10 in total. Kids.
Oh my God.
Dude, I mean,
hey, low-key,
well, my grandma had like
normal
12,
back then?
Yeah, my grandma had 12 pregnancies,
it
but
was.
only 10. Okay,
My mom said my grandma was supposed to have 16 kids.
Yeah, my grandma like 12.
Yeah.
Dude,
but
and
all
my
the
grandma
boys died. Yeah.
Oh.
All the boys died in my mom.
No, then.
Like 8 boys. My grandma had like 8
Dang, dude. No, honestly, man, I'm starting to think if my grandma had 10, how many was she supposed to have? 20?
Like 30. You're at least 30.
Damn, hey, they were freaks back then.
Hey,
Huh?
Dude. Hey, my grandma's like, there was no TVs. I'm like, clearly. Clearly.
Pero sí se veía para barrer y trapear and everything, but they couldn't do that. No, I'm just kidding. It's crazy how it worked back then. But going back to that though, the friendships, it's you got to be picky sometimes. You got to be smart with it. And you kind of have to see where the energy flows. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching to In Good Company. You're always going to be in good company. And
don't forget to like, share, subscribe. My name is Aizy.
My name is at Evuxlin. So you'll see it down on the description.
My name is Shanti. It's at Chantal's Way on Instagram. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you guys ever need, some good company, don't forget to, click on our channel and
subscribe. Stay tuned, baby.
Yes,
bye.
Bye.